Yes, day 17, lads. What's happening?
Wow, we are back.
Flying through at 6 to go. Is it 6 to go?
6 to go, mate. Aye, it's been unbelievable, innit?
Another good night,
for the
innit?
boys, wasn't it? Crowd were great. Listen, a wee bit quieter, but listen, crowd
Got
was
in it
still
at the end,
amazing.
didn't they?
Aye, by the way, I was like the pantomime film, wasn't I?
I hated
Getting
it.
booed. But listen,
You fed off that though, didn't you? You
aye,
loved that.
then I won the heated tennis, didn't I? Cause that's a sign of a big character, that.
Yeah, two fingers to the critics.
Yeah, just did that.
It is the Rangers Supporters Club for it.
I don't know
Every
about
night,
last
man.
night, it was just the Stranraer Supporters Club last night.
Yeah,
Jeff had some reception, didn't he?
No, I got a day release last night, so they all come up to see me.
Couldn't understand the fucking word any of them were saying.
By the
No,
way,
they understood me. They
Aye,
used to
that's
do.
what I'm saying. We couldn't understand the word the crowd were saying, all these Stranraer people, man.
by the way, coming in this
I actually
morning.
got a chicken bone stuck in my throat. There was some lovely girls.
Were the lovely girls. Was there? I never seen them.
No, there's never any lovely
Has there
girls.
been any? No,
There's been a few, because obviously they would contact me first before they go to
Yeah, you sorted it, big
Just a quick, going to say on the camera, if you're going to come here and heckle, you will get put in your place straight away.
You'll get slaughtered.
You'll get slaughtered. So bring it. See, you want to come up, shout stuff onto stage, we'll embarrass you.
Aye. And I don't think it's never a good idea to heckle when you're on the front row and we can actually see what you look like. Do you know what I
A
mean?
bag of shite.
Aye.
Because the thing is, we've got a mic and you've no, so nobody can hear you, and the whole crowd can hear us.
That guy in
So
the
shut
front
your
row.
mouth and just get on it.
Just shut your mouth and go.
By the way, lads, before we go, I have to say this.
Wait, we need to do the intro for Grosvenor. You want to do it first since you're on a... You want
Why
to
is he
continue on
interrupting
this?
Well, me and Si's got a heated argument today.
Right, say the Grosvenor thing first, then we'll get in it.
In partnership with Grosvenor Sport, when you bet £10 on any match you get, £30 in free bets. Wow, what a company. They've been superb, haven't they?
Some
Good
two,
fly.
aren't
In the quarters, aren't they? Won last night.
Aye, they did, aye.
Extra time.
Got to
didn't
fancy
they?
himself now, isn't it,
After
after
Croatia,
France?
What was I
Right,
saying?
go on then, you want to get
So,
it?
coming along today, coming to work, a cyclist going around the row, holding 2 Greg's bags while he's cycling. The one and only Kevin Kyle. But he cycled for Cumbernauld.
Aye, Cumbernauld into the podcast this morning, right along the canal. Amazing, what a...
What was that thing you said he had on his seat that he was getting?
It was funny though, it was a strange seat, pointed up the way.
Well, this lazy
Took the
twat,
seat up and you sat on the pole, the rusty pole.
this lazy twat, right, lives 0.5 miles from here. He's in an Uber.
Aye, but I didn't
Very
get,
lazy.
Very lazy.
no, but I didn't get back. When you talk about that house down there, didn't stay
Oh,
there
is that
last
the other
night.
one?
Oh, you got in your
You
new
moved
flat?
into Big G's?
No. Back, right, aye.
Oh, they told me at the top of the close last night.
This guy's
And what's happening with this flat? He was 30th on the list about a year ago.
I know, but
Did,
the,
I think it's a myth.
did the rent go up?
no, but the money I'm making now, like, I don't.
Oh, you want a better
I've
flat?
got a bit better now, mate, do you know what I mean? I'm not going back to that crap.
Yeah. So you still staying with him, or?
No,
You've had a good tour, to be fair, haven't you?
been brilliant. Up and down in it.
Aye.
We were worried about you at the beginning because you were that singing and his voice started to go, but he came back here.
Gives a wee song then.
I guess a wee something. You've got that
Just so people know
huskiness.
that you've still got it.
I think you could do a bit of Rod Stewart with the huskiness you've got in your voice.
No.
He's always good at Caledonia, it always goes down really well.
It's amazing that how
Which
much he
out
knows of the words.
goes down worse, that or the cans?
Or the Jason Derulo.
No, but see, by the way,
Jason Derulo went down alright, I thought, last
Did it?
night.
see, like, he's no.
People were asking
For
for
us,
it,
20
but
that was
nobody
here.
else joins in.
Aye,
But see, like, he's no though. We're in the changing room, I'm like, lads, we're not doing the cans tonight because nobody's bothered about it, and you're like, everybody loves it, and I came out and did that, not a reaction for them or yours.
Mate, it's a centrepiece of the show, mate. You need to do it. Do you know why we don't get a reaction? Because you spray it all over us.
I know, mate, I was fucking soaked again last night.
Tell
You
you
get
what,
your cans out, you get your jugs out and that dressing.
I tell you, what else has been soaked recently. His pits, haven't they?
Oh, aye.
That was
Jesus,
wet,
man.
Oh no, man, why do you wear grey on a day like this? It's worth it though for fashion,
It's a good sign of good
Take it
health.
for
Oh,
fashion.
I
a good
don't
health
need
sign.
you anymore. I don't need you anymore. No, I don't need you anymore.
I don't need you anymore. Do you believe in life after love?
I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough, no.
Minted coffee.
Best place.
Best
I'm
of
going to say the best in the West End, but it's not, it's the best in Britain.
Is that the nicest bean you've tasted all Euros?
No. It's a great bean, but it's certainly not. it's not what it is.
Right, what you want to get the Stones Rudiger thing?
Aye.
Right.
So what I'm going to say is before we start, he came in and said, I've got these stats. An argument is when it's done then and there. The best people in arguments is when it finishes, you go home and go like, I wish I'd said that, I wish I'd said that. Anybody can go away and get stats and do this, but when it mattered, I outdone you yesterday.
What was your point? Outdone us. Your opinion, he was a better centre half. My opinion, Stones is better.
Your thing was that if Rudiger's that good, Man City just go and sign him.
Well, they sign defenders every year, innit? They just took him for Roma, and the reason why you never...
No, but you can say that about every defender that's good.
Laporte, better player than Rudiger for me, and Stones plays ahead of him.
But you've said...
But actually, you like Ruben Diaz, Pep actually moves him on his weak side to get Stones on his good side.
But see, before Ruben Diaz came in, they were a shambles, Man City. Everybody said they knew. So if
that was a collective, that's not just John Stones.
But if Laporte and Stones were this good, why did they go and spend 75 million on Diaz?
Rudiger's also got two of the best defensive midfielders ever that sit in front of him.
Ever?
They're Kante and Jorginho. And
Jorginho's
two of the best in the world. Two of the best in the world right now. Two of the best in the
Wow.
world right now. They didn't move for their slots. Stones is left exposed all the time.
Mate, Man City
play with one sitter and that's it.
See,
They
the
play with two
situation
sitters.
Man City are in the now is exactly what Liverpool were in. Van Dijk comes in, and whoever plays alongside Van Dijk, he's very good. Very, very good because of Van Dijk's there. Exact same as Diaz.
No, that's a different.
And what you've said
That's
is,
totally different.
and what you've said is, you've said through the whole season that about Aya, I don't care.
I know you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said I don't care if he's good in the ball. I want my defender to defend. You've changed that now.
No, I've not, because John Stones, he's got a player next to him who defends and Diaz, so he's the guy that takes the ball.
Are you saying
so if I
Stones
got
is
a guy next to him like Diaz, then I'd be buzzing off him taking the ball.
Stones is a
But he
bit-
doesn't, he had a young guy, so I wanted him to be the guy that went and defended.
Are you saying Stones is a better defender than Rudiger? A better defender?
For what I would want for my team as a centre back, yeah, I would want John Stones.
No, as a defender,
yeah.
you're saying Stones is better than Rudiger?
Rudiger can't pass the ball.
We're
Kicks
not
the ball
saying
in the stand every time he gets it. He's basically Stephen
We're
Crane.
talking about a defender.
He's a
First and
defender.
foremost, defend. If you ask any centre forwards, you would rather play against Stones than Rudiger.
But how do you know
because
that?
he's an animal.
Who could you ask though?
I don't know, but I think. What do you think, Andy? There,
I don't know, mate.
Rudiger is much more aggressive than Stones.
No, I would agree with that, but
I
John
would
Stones
also
is
say
miles,
that-
he's quicker, he's better in the air, better in the ball.
Than Rudiger.
Stones is quick, mate.
So is Rudiger.
Rudiger's definitely quicker than John Stones.
You'd rather
But
Stones.
I wouldn't say. I don't know who's better.
Mate, did you see Rudiger in the Champions League? Mate, Real Madrid, he was the best player on the pitch. In the
But
final, he was the best.
Over the season, he couldn't get a game for Chelsea, mate.
He
For
won
a
the
good part of the season.
Paul, what I will say to you
If he's
is
that
I've
good,
told you,
Paul, he can't get a game for
this guy's
Chelsea
the
for the
most
first half of the season.
reactive guy I've ever met in my life. If Stones has a bad month, Stones is the worst player
No,
in the world.
Mate, everybody was saying Stones was done before Diaz came in. Company was there.
He said he was done.
They couldn't get a game. No,
Stones?
Diaz, before Diaz came in.
No, he couldn't.
They couldn't.
He
They're putting Fernandinho back.
That's right.
I bet
Stones
he was injured.
Stones had a period where he totally lost it.
Yeah, he totally lost it altogether. And then Diaz comes in, and every defender that comes in with Diaz is brilliant. Same as Liverpool. When Van Dijk comes in, every other centre half that plays, he's very good.
Disagree.
Would you say whoever wins the night wins the argument? It used to.
Well, it depends what you want. But what I'm saying is, if you go, I look at my defenders. Who's the best defender? I'm not saying who's the best on the ball.
Well, so that's different then, because you want your teams to defend. I want to dominate the ball.
No, I'm talking
The reason
about
Man City can dominate the ball so much is because they've got a centre half like John Stones who can step in and keep the ball.
Mate, Man City.
Rudiger could
so
never
Man
play-
City dominate because of John Stones is playing.
Because they've got a centre half that can step in 100%.
If you
He's an extra man in midfield.
I-
That's why their fullbacks are
but
so
you've
good, because
said-
they can play as midfielders
But
as
you've
well.
said that if you want somebody like put a midfielder in, you said that last season. If you want somebody to play, get a midfielder in.
But with John
No,
Stones,
I never said
You
that.
did say that.
No,
so
I
you
never.
you did.
I never once said that.
I swear you did.
with John Stones stepping in, is that not easier for John Stones to step in because of how well Man City keep the ball high up, so it's easy to step in?
What do you mean?
Like when he steps in into midfield to help, it's because Man City dominate the ball. Say Chelsea dominated the ball.
No, but they
Could
didn't, because
Rudiger
they've
not?
not got centre halves like John Stones. That's why they can't dominate the ball. Because they've got Zuma and Rudiger who
Yeah,
can't
but
go
the
at the pitch.
defence don't dominate the ball, surely.
That's where you start.
Are you
can't-
saying
know
Rudiger-
how Man
we're
City
not-
play?
we're not- we're
The
not
reason
going-
Man City can play the way they can play is because Ederson
you
gets the
saying-
ball and passes to
Are
John
you saying
Stones.
Rudiger?
Imagine
Ederson
Ederson.
passes to Stones. He slings about 90 yards.
So Man City didn't play it for the back.
No, but what I'm saying is, are you saying Rudiger can't pass the ball?
Have you asked Rudiger to go and play for Man City and take the ball off Ederson for the back? No, he couldn't have done it.
He could.
No, he couldn't.
He could.
I disagree.
This myth now about football that centre halves, you need, mate. If you can't pass the ball at that level,
Oh, no, there we go. Sees that.
do you know what I mean? Though, Rudiger can play the ball. Mate, Chelsea pass the ball out. So you saying Chelsea just punt it?
No, I'm not saying they do,
So-
but they didn't
so-
play it as well as Man City.
But that's Pep. That's no. He's the
Well,
best.
so
ever
that's
at
what
that.
I'm saying. It all depends what kind of centre half you want.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, and I know that if I was playing, I would hate to play against Rudiger rather than Stones. As a defender, if you're a
Yeah,
striker,
when you've got the ball, but
Yeah.
on it, off the ball, you just leave him on it. Go
But
and you break his down. You
but
kick the ball to the
but
pitch.
what would you rather?
Stones would play through you, play
What
through
would
the
you
lines.
rather, right? A defender that's no the greatest.
But Stones does defend. Tell me an instant last year where Stones' man scores for a corner or he gets bullied.
It was near the end of the season. I can't remember the instant,
Nah.
but I'll get it for you.
Well,
I will.
Rudiger couldn't get a game for Chelsea, mate.
But you keep saying...
For Chelsea, who was 6th in the league at the time, you couldn't get
Did you
again.
see the Champions League final?
Paul, that's
Rudiger.
one game.
He's
John
got the
Stones done it
trophy.
over 30.
He's got the trophy when
Had
Stones
John
they
Stones
changed
won the
him.
Premier League trophy?
Aye, Champions League's better. I mean, he had Lampard as
Mate,
his
poor
manager.
teams have won Champions Leagues before. Poor teams have never won Premier Leagues.
But I'm saying, and I know you know, that you, first and foremost, when you look at a
I would
defender-
rather John Stones in my team. You'd rather Rudiger, that's it. Man City conceded 10 goals less than Chelsea last year and scored 30 more.
Are you basing this
So Man City an attacking team. Rudiger plays in a defensive team.
Are you saying Tuchel's
Tottenham
defensive?
scored 10 more goals under Mourinho, defensive manager,
But
than
when are you
Chelsea.
basing this on since Lampard came in or since Tuchel?
Doesn't matter. Rudiger's
Of
still
course,
part of the team.
that
So
doesn't
you're just
matter.
saying as a manager then?
No, but you said it doesn't matter
So,
about the manager.
Rudiger wasn't a part of the team that was hopeless.
No, but you said it doesn't
So
matter
you're only
about
just
the
taking
manager.
him at the good points. You've just
of course
that
it's-
was your argument for Stones.
Right, lads, what's
But
that?
of course it's important who your manager is. They've got the Man City have got the best manager in the world.
You just said
Lampard-
Tuchel. You're talking Tuchel up.
No, but what I'm saying is Lampard was there, he was a novice. So Rudiger's, all the boys have come out, Jorginho's come out and said he wasn't ready for the job.
Right, it doesn't matter. Let's move on. You're like Rudiger, I like Stones, that's it.
But you've said in the past, though, first and foremost, when you look at a defender,
But a team's all about balance, Paul. I'm saying John Stones is good because he's got a guy in Diaz next to him that can defend. He defends, Stones plays. Stones also defends as well. As I've said to you, when does he ever get bullied at it?
Do you know what I will say? You've grown into a man, mate. Last couple of weeks.
100%.
See if that had been a year ago, man, he'd have
Aye.
folded like a deck of cards
You
there,
would,
but
aye.
he stood strong.
I just think if for me, looking at my defender, I want a defender rather than a guy that's better at playing it. And I'm saying Stones can defend, but Rudiger's a much more aggressive defender than Stones.
See when you say about playing out,
Rudy!
see when you say about playing out, do most defenders not just go 5 yards sideways, 5 yards at midfield?
I
So
know,
what's this
I know.
playing out? Is it
All right,
do you think John
I'll
Stones is
drop it.
threading
No.
balls through to strikers? Is that what
Right,
John Stones is
okay.
doing?
Right, Rudiger plays it like John Stones, right? That's it.
No, I'm
That's the
just
argument
asking
for
because
it.
I'm yet to see.
It's going to happen because
How
I'm
goes-
not-
but you're talking
But
rubbish.
what I'm yet-
What are
what
you
I'm-
talking about?
what
So
I'm
you're
yet to
saying
see
that
is-
Rudiger does
Andy,
what John Stones does?
Andy, you shooting centre half right when they pass
Oh,
it to the back.
honestly.
Like they only go side to side.
That's
to
like
right
saying
back,
John
to
Suter's the
right
same
back,
player as
into midfield.
Popescu.
But John Suter can play it for the back. But John Suter doesn't thread things
Much better
through.
than Popescu can.
Who's Popescu?
The
He's
guy, other centre half for Hearts. That's a
don't
load of
know.
nonsense. So you're saying every centre half just passes 5 yards? No, they
No,
don't.
but what I'm
John
saying
Suter
is-
steps in and plays like a midfielder. John Stones does the same. That's why they're the better
I think
centre
we're
halves.
overthinking how centre halves deal with. Like,
No, I'm not. What? That's what John Stones does. He goes and plays as an extra midfielder.
Tell you what.
Suter does it for Hearts.
Rudiger's
That's why John Stones will go and play. John Suter will go and play at a higher level than any other Hearts centre half because he can step in and play and defend. John Stones is the
There's a
same.
reason why Pep
That's
had
it.
to go and spend 80 million a centre half
Who?
to show them up. Diaz, there's a reason why Stones was that good when they've
I
done
had to
that.
play next to John Stones. He went and bought somebody
good
to
too.
play with John
He's played
Stones.
with 3 defenders beside him.
So he'd have just played Laporte there on his left foot. He's went and put Diaz on his weak
And
side
it's
to get
made
John
everyone
Stones in the team.
better. It's made everyone the centre half better.
So why did he not just play Laporte on his good side and play Diaz on his good side?
You gonna ask him that?
I'm asking you.
No, but what I'm saying is, we're talking about Rudiger and Stones. I'm
So
saying
if Diaz
Rudiger's
is
better
that
than
good, why
Stones.
not just play Laporte? The other guy you signed
They
for
did
60
play,
million.
They did play him.
When?
They were taking the other 3 centre halves.
What? Last year?
Yeah.
No, it was Stones and Diaz. You're talking nonsense.
It wasn't
right,
it?
let's go.
This was good. That was good though. I like that.
I was good. We'll get a poll later to see who was right. Slaney or Si.
But I'm saying, all I'm saying is Rudiger's. I would take Rudiger ahead of Stones.
But that's because
And
if
Si
you
would-
want to
and Si
defend.
would
I know,
take
and you would
Stones.
take
I wanna
because
play
I
it.
know.
Individual opinions. Nobody's wrong.
Right. Game of the tournament yesterday. France unplayable.
That was a game of the tournament right there. Honestly.
It's a bit flat.
We'll start with Spain first. They started first. Spain looked good. Morata's scoring goals now.
Do you know why as well? Because of Laporte, I think. That was 2 games of the
There's another thing
tournament.
for you. Rodri can't get a game for Spain. That's who Stones has got in front of him. Rudiger's got Jorginho, the Italian centre midfielder, and Kante, the France centre midfielder.
Who was the other? Who was the other 2 yesterday? It was Busquets, Pedri, and Koke. Koke, wasn't it?
Koke,
Koke. I tell you what, Spain have went under the radar, aren't they?
Nah.
To be honest, I still don't fancy them. I told you yesterday, I don't have the same level of trust in Morata as I do in other strikers that are in the tournament. And you seen that yesterday. I know he took his goal well, but the chances he passes up every game.
He missed 2 easier ones than the one he
The one in the
actually
first half.
scored. The header
is a sitter.
and
Can you win it without a striker? It's no.
Listen,
he's scoring goals.
we're talking is that Morata's he's not a bad player, but
Yeah.
you're looking at this, Belgium with Lukaku, Harry Kane if he starts firing at England. You've got more trust on them to score goals into you than and Spain have probably created more chances for the striker than any other team in the tournament. So, but big Patrick Schick and all, man.
I know,
4
they're flying,
goals,
innit?
but
It does seem this tournament, though, it does feel that you might not need that.
I would agree with you because if you look at the amount of goal scorers they've actually scored, like I know Schick scored 4, Lukaku's got 4, Benzema's 4, Ronaldo's 5.
And they're out.
Apart from that, there's loads of other teams with like individual scorers all over the place. So it's not as if everybody's is the main strikers just scoring the goals. But for me, like you say, Spain, they've won 5-3 and obviously got an extra half an hour at it, a lot of goals, but they could have had a lot of goals in the first 90, so they are creating enough chances. You create enough chances, whether your striker's firing or not firing, he's going to get in the end of something, and if he doesn't get it, somebody else is going to get it. That's the way I always see it. If you create enough chances, you'll get goals eventually.
Spain dominate the ball as well, didn't they, in games that they play? It's so important at this level now.
I think though, when it goes maybe neither, like, when it is tight, you might need that wee bit up front, and I think Spain like that.
So in the bigger games when they're not creating,
Yeah, you need
10,
a wee bit of
12
magic up
chances.
the final third. I think they might like that.
Have they got midfielders that can score goals? Torres, he can grab a goal, can't he?
Ferran Torres, the boy Sarabia's
Pedri's
scored a
good,
couple
isn't he?
now.
Yeah.
Pedri's a player, isn't he?
He's brilliant, mate, isn't he?
Oh, how old is he?
21 or something.
He is a player.
Yeah.
But-
What about the OG, man?
One of the worst I've seen.
Stoke passing the ball back to the keeper.
But it was a 90-yard back pass, you know what I mean? It was like, surely you can deal with that.
Yep.
Paul Lambert used to do that at the reserves, mate. Playing the reserves, mate, the ball being like a half volley, and he'd half volley it back to the goalie.
Tommy Gravson pressed it.
Tommy Gravson would run in Preston, he was on the same team as him.
Surely the guy
Have you
passing that
seen
back.
the scene of this one? Remember, you could pass it back to goalies and they could catch it?
Aye.
He's actually got it in the final third and he's booted it back to the Rangers keeper.
How was that ever a rule?
I know, that was ludicrous, wasn't it?
I think that the midfielder that's passed it back could have took a touch and maybe laid it off 5 yards, 10 yards somewhere else. I don't think it needs to go all the way back there.
Yeah.
But again, the goalkeeper, that happens all over the pitch at every moment. Somebody will let one over the underneath the thing. It just when it happens right bang in the middle of the goal, can't do anything about it.
You've got to fancy him against Croatia in the next Switzerland the next round though.
Yeah.
But then it could be them and Italians or Belgians in the semi.
Do you think it could be a smaller nation that wins it?
No.
Do you think so, like Czech or?
Belgium have got to step up now, haven't they?
It's
What a
a
chance
chance,
they've
mate.
got.
It's a chance. But see when you look at it, right, you've got Switzerland now, Denmark, it's going to be a Sweden or Ukraine and a Czech Republic in the quarter final. Like, I know we don't want to dwell on it too much, but imagine Scotland did just beat
I
Czech
know.
Republic in the first game.
But they're obviously a good side.
Side.
They are a good side, aye, they are a good side.
9 OGs in the tournament. Best of all time, what you put
Top
it down
scorer,
OG.
top scorer, big OG, isn't he?
A great big boy, isn't he?
Yes, some player.
Why do you think that is?
Maybe just
Third
the
defender.
Some of the, by the
quality,
way, some of the own goals have been terrible as well.
quality of the balls in the box.
Or do you think good quality, like?
Aye, good quality, because you put the balls in the right area and make defenders have to make a decision. See if you get a wee bit of pressure on you, make mistakes.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of missed penalties as well there.
Aye, there has been a
Yeah.
lot of missed penalties.
There's quite a lot of missed penalties, but it's pressure. I just think when you get into these latter stages, the last 16, see the likes of your Denmarks, your Switzerlands, they become better. They become really hard to beat. And they've got that chance of holding on to something. Like you look at Denmark won at 92, then you saw the Greece team that just defended like forever, and they won it. Why could a nation that's no fancied win it? Because these big teams, the likes of France last night, 3-1 up, 20 minutes to go or something, popping it about, and then all of a sudden it just flipped.
Wait, to be fair, we did say that a couple of days ago, didn't we? That France haven't been impressive for
No.
the 3 group games that they had.
What were they playing last night? Was that 4-4-2?
Played a diamond.
Aye,
at
a
the
diamond,
far-
aye, Griezmann behind.
Celtic were doing it last year, you just can't they're just popping the ball into them. Nobody goes to wide players, eh?
No.
I tell you what, right, like, Mbappe had a poor turn, they didn't do it. Like, forget about even regardless of missing the last penalty, because that doesn't matter, but you're talking about him and Haaland as being the next 2 best in the world. Mbappe, what is he, 22 now?
22,
What
yeah.
about the one last
He was
night?
poor.
Pompous played him in, and he's let it run.
On the
He's
left
like,
foot.
Why is that just
"Is
right?
that right?"
I know. I watched it back in the replay and I thought maybe when it's come through, has it come through too fast that he couldn't get his feet sorted to do the right foot?
Yeah.
But you would at least try that first before letting it, because if it was too fast to go on your right, it's definitely going to be too fast to go on your left. I know he's quick, but sometimes as quick as he is, he ties his legs in knots sometimes. Like he'll do a step over really fast and he'll get the defender to move where he wants him, but he's not sorted his feet out enough to get it out his feet to shoot.
Yeah.
Remember when he first burst on the scene, they were talking about comparing him to like Ronaldo 9.
You can still get there now.
Yeah, it's frightening to be
Yeah,
fair.
Yeah, it's
fine.
No,
unbelievable.
he is very, very good, but I don't know. He
You
needs
ever
to.
scored just on the on goal? You ever scored an on goal? Anyone?
Aye.
Who for?
Motherwell 16s. I was at front post, marked the front post.
Corner.
Corner kind of flicked it in, burst out greeting after it.
Rochdale,
Come on.
I had to, actually did. I don't know if it's under 16s, but I had to come off after it.
Rochdale on loan, having a stinker. Gaffer gave us a start, proved myself. I had a shocker off first half, couldn't half time. He says, Kevin, you've got 10 minutes. I was like, oh, fuck. So I'm obviously geared up to come out. 5 minutes out of the second half, corner comes in, I've tried to backheel it out the park, straight in the top corner.
The worst, mate.
Hooked.
You saw the wrong goal?
Playoff semi-final on the telly.
Oh, no
Away
way.
to Charlton, scored in the own goal, and then I got hooked. I had a fucking shocker after it.
When did you get hooked after it?
60 minutes, and then I was like on the bench laughing, right, with the manager, and Gary Birtles was the commentator. Went, I don't know what he's laughing at. He's going to lose his team this game.
So did you score an own goal? When did you score the own goal?
12 minutes in, mate. We were
Was it
2-1
early
up
on?
with it early doors, man. The goalie came in.
Was that the game it was like 5-4 or something like that?
No, that was Sheffield United. No, but this was Charlton at the
See,
Valley.
after you done that, were you trying to do everything to...
Hide and
Did
seek
you?
champion of the world, mate.
Oh, wow.
I know, terrible. I hate myself for it.
Is that a bad on goal?
I should have done better. Shit myself a wee bit. Right, Pogba, we need to ask you. I thought he was brilliant. Roy Keane, first half he was poor, right, and they slaughtered him. Second half for me he was the best player on the pitch, and then they come out and say he can't play in it too. Are you agreeing or disagreeing?
Disagreeing. I think Neville and Roy Keane, obviously because they see Pogba, he's unbelievable for instance. They must have a wee bee in their bonnet because he maybe doesn't get for Man U, they don't think. But what they were coming up with last night was a lot of nonsense. He was the best player on the pitch, and for some reason, after the game, they pick him out to slag him.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not having
That's
that.
what we always say, see if you're a character, you're more, people criticise you
He
more.
was exceptional
Kante was
last
poor
night.
second half, not a word said about him.
Just kept getting the ball back.
Yeah.
It's Paul Pogba. They always say he's a myth. The reason he went to Juventus in the first place and became the superstar that he was because of how good he was. That's why Man United brought him back. He's maybe not hit the heights at Old Trafford the second time round, but Man United haven't hit the heights, so it's difficult. Last night in the formation, the setup that they played, Kante obviously helps them because it gives them that wee bit of freedom. But for Roy Keane and Gary Neville to pick out the negatives, like. Nobody really cares about the negatives. You sign somebody on what potential they can do, and what he can do with the ball is incredible. See that goal?
But see what they say this thing about discipline, right? See, Pogba's doing everything on the ball. Surely that's somebody else's job.
Yeah,
then
to
to
go
go.
in.
Pogba can't do everything.
He can't do
himself.
everything.
But
you're
Roy
right,
Keane was
Paul.
saying, look at Pogba, he's running across Kante to go and get the ball. That's because Kante didn't really want the ball. Pogba did.
Yeah.
But see Kante off the ball, he runs across Pogba to go and get it back, so what's the difference? You just balance off each other now.
I don't know. I wasn't agreeing with anything they said last night about him.
Well, here we've got a centre midfielder, Andrew.
You can't say that Pogba can't play in a two, but I don't think you would get the best out of him in a two. I think it's more like, see for me, right, I don't think he's the best midfielder in the world because he's not proved that he's the best midfielder in the world on a week-in out basis, but talent-wise, he's the most talented midfielder in the world.
Yeah.
But do you know think at club domestic level, do you not think playing with Fernandes maybe takes it a wee bit away from him? Because he's in that 10, sometimes that's where Pogba wants to be.
But he doesn't want to play the wee passes, Pogba, doesn't he? He wants two quick strikers that he can play through on goal.
And he's got that wee clip that's in behind, he's got that slide, he drives with the ball. I think he is better if he's the main man, but talent-wise, man, like he's been a pleasure to watch this tournament. We've talked about France.
Best player, isn't he?
We've talked about France not being great, but he's been.
I think
Some of the stuff
just
he does,
one of
mate,
them dogs, mate,
is
isn't he?
ridiculous, man.
Somebody's got to play that pass and get on the ball and try.
But surely that's the whole point of having two centre mids. One is more defensive, and the other one can go and
Creative.
create. But then he's playing the guy that's the one that's creating everything to go and do the other job.
But what I will say is, right, is see for next year, especially for Pogba, man, you need more for somebody that's that good. For how good he is, you need so much more than what he gave last year or the year before that.
Solskjaer was going through stages not even playing him.
Yeah.
He didn't trust him, didn't he? No.
Nah.
McTominay, midfield.
The thing is with the goals.
It's crazy to think that they two are
Talent-wise,
they two
obviously,
are
Pogba
playing
is
ahead of
just-
Pogba, man.
Fred and McTominay ahead of him. Solskjaer in it, wow. But what I'll say is on last night, listen, I think the last few years football has become a bit boring the way it's a lot of possession based and teams sit off and stuff, but that last night is the best you can watch, mate. When you're watching that spinning Croatia in the changing room, innit? Unbelievable, end-to-end stuff. Then mate, that is what you want to see, innit? It's just amazing.
What about Xhaka as well? See if he played like that for Arsenal every week. What player he'd play?
What is that doing? The players are better with the...
Like you say, it must be systems and how the manager wants him to play. It must be, because you can tell Xhaka's a talented player, man. I mean, he could pass the ball.
Said that before, like Xhaka's always been a sort of whipping boy for Arsenal, and sometimes deservedly so, especially with this. We talk about discipline, man. That guy's discipline, he gets about 5 red cards a year, but I think it always shows you something when a new manager always comes in and always plays him.
Aye.
And then Arteta came in, made him captain initially for the first few games, so he must have a big influence. But it's like you're saying, you've got to be judged more in your performances week in, week out. Know what you can do in a one-off game. So I think Xhaka's been that sort of player, but he's not really got the luxury of players running about him that other players have got in midfield.
He was very good.
See when France are up 3-1 last night?
Why is he taking his best players off?
What is he taking?
Why is Benzema coming off?
Aye.
What about his goal?
He's first.
Does he mean that
For me,
touch?
that's better than Pogba's. If he means it, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
No,
he
but
did
of
mean
course he means it because it's behind.
Aye, so he's
It's
just trying to
behind
get
him,
it.
so he
He's trying
dangles
to,
it. I'm not saying that like
He's meant to
the
exactly
exact touch.
Aye.
He's trying to improvise. He's trying to get a first touch that takes him in front of the ball. And
he's such
what
a
a goal that is,
clever
man.
footballer, isn't he?
Great
finish
He's
as well.
He's brilliant.
see, for me, by the way, another one. I need more for Griezmann. But
Yeah.
is it
Mate,
Barcelona?
he just tries back heels all the time.
Is it Barcelona they paid? What did they pay for him? He's obviously been France's main striker with Giroud for the last sort of 7-8 years. I need more for him in these games.
Aye. Doesn't he offer
See,
a
we
lot,
actually
does
watch Griezmann,
He's
right?
annoying, isn't he?
He's obviously top notch. He plays for Barcelona, but he's not really got like Mbappe's got blistering pace. It's like Benzema's movement's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You wouldn't really say Griezmann's got one outstanding quality, would you?
he? He's not got that wee burst, does he? At speed.
But he's just like an
Good
all-round, obviously
Yeah.
very, very good striker. But you need more from the big games that they like yesterday.
The Euros is now set in it now. That's it started after last night, wasn't it?
What is that?
The Euros is now started with 8
Yeah,
games.
8 games.
Unbelievable.
Aye.
But will
do you know
England
what's been a
Germany
good
be an
tournament?
end or will that be a bore fest?
England will make it a ball fest, I think. I've told you that I genuinely think Germany, if Germany play the way they can play, I think they'll just outwork England tonight. I think England's just same as what we've said for the last 4 tournaments, regardless of how good their squad is, because it is England's squad's better than Germany's squad, but on the basis of the 3 games we've watched so far, they're just too slow in possession.
I can agree with that with the squad there.
Good
The
teams. and
squad
just-
starting 11, I don't know.
I think Germany.
so?
But they're a strong starting 11, Germany. Kimmich, Goretzka centre mid, Müller in front of them. I'm even including Havertz in that.
Yeah.
Werner up top, Gnabry, Sané, Wine. That's strong, innit?
Who's the
So
two
what,
centre
what
half?
you matching the 2 starting 11s?
Aye,
Aye,
starting
2 starting 11s. You could probably
There's no a lot in it, is
go
there?
either or, but
But then you're thinking about
I would still look at
Foden,
England
Grealish.
and say Harry Kane's scoring 25-30 goals a year. Raheem Sterling before last year could score 20-30 goals. Grealish has impacted it unbelievable at Aston Villa. Foden in the limited games he's played scored double figures again. Germany, Sané never really played it, but I mean this year. Gnabry had an unbelievable season. Müller sort of in and out, but still unbelievable.
If you're Southgate, who are you starting for England? Are you playing one holding? He'll play 2, won't he?
You'll play 2 holders,
He's
won't
not
you?
going to play 2 in the groups and then...
I know you did.
I
would
think he
play
could change the
Henderson in.
shape for the night just because Germany stay at the back. I think they could match.
What and go
3 at the back as well.
3-5-2?
Done it a couple of times.
Who's
I
that?
think.
Stones, Maguire and...
Stones,
Walker?
Maguire, Walker, Reece
Mings.
James probably.
Right.
Luke Shaw.
Look, sure.
You're matching the 2 teams up in centre midfield.
And
You've
who's
got
your
Jordan
two up
Henderson
top,
and
Kane
Jordan
and
Henderson.
Rashford?
Then Jordan Henderson comes in.
I'd play Henderson, mate.
I'd play Henderson.
I think he's a type that's fit as fuck. What is he put? I know you only played 45 minutes,
So
but
Henderson, when you go with the 2 in front of Henderson,
For me, I would play Foden, but
Foden and Grealish. Or do you think he's going to go 2 sitting?
You'll
I
play
think he might
Sterling,
play-
mate. Sterling will play.
aye,
Sterling
Sterling will
always
play.
plays.
I think he'll either change it to match him up. If he stays 4-3-3, he might end up playing Saka after how well he played the last game, and just look at a bit more pace in the wider areas to hurt Germany. But I fancy Germany.
I'm going. I'm not too sure.
I've got a bad feeling about it though. I think Germany, but I've got a bad feeling about it.
I think Germany plays them high early on and put them under pressure and try and get the ball back. And I think you'll see England crumble a wee bit. I think that's. If Germany press England high and make it uncomfortable, can I see England popping it round Germany and getting it? And I don't think I can because, like you say, they're too slow in possession sometimes.
I don't like Declan Rice. I don't think he's
They're actually
top level.
They're actually
How has
chances
Declan Rice become top level? What is it that he does for West Ham every week?
Runs
that
about
make-
tackles, Peter.
Aye, but if Billy Gilmore,
Top sitter needs to get on the ball.
if Billy Gilmore or John McGinn were like 4 or 5 inches taller, do we talk about them in the same way they talk about Declan Rice? I'm a wee bit.
I think Gilmore will be better than Rice
Oh, aye,
in the long term.
But Declan Rice, like, I don't know. Don't
He
see
is-
enough of him.
he
He's
is
obviously
good,
good
but-
at what
No,
he
he's
does.
good.
But
Yeah.
If you're matching him up against Kimmich gives you a
Aye.
lot more. doesn't
Yeah.
it?
yeah,
But do you know what? It's an interesting game for me. I think it'll be interesting. But England need to do so much more than they've done. You've got to say, to be fair, they were brilliant against Portugal. Hungary had all the ball, looked vulnerable at the back. Big Matt Hummels has looked vulnerable in the
too slow.
3 games,
Yeah.
isn't he? So it'll be interesting.
even though
Harry
he's
Kane
slow,
against
you're
Hummels.
matching Harry Kane up
The
with him.
slowest race in history. isn't it?
Two lorries trying to overtake each other.
Aye. Harry Kane, Matt Hummels. Like if Harry Kane's going to start coming deep, I think England potentially would better off starting up somebody else.
But,
Maybe bring Harry Kane on later on in the game. I think if you put a wee bit of legs in there,
Nah,
they
you've
can
got to
maybe
start
run in
Kane.
behind. I know you've got to start him because of what he's done, but I'll tell you what, stranger things have happened.
But then England's got the advantage at Wembley as well.
That's what I was going to say.
Is it an advantage because
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
you would like to think being a home game, but
We thought that about Scotland, though, didn't we?
But
Crowd
you
getting
said,
their
you
back.
said it earlier, Andy, that the pressure's now on them because of the way the France are
draws
knocked
went,
out
aye.
and Holland's been knocked out. There's a right opportunity to get to the final here.
Okay,
Obviously
your
that.
decision game, Grosvenor Sport. You can get involved in the free-to-play game at home as well for a chance to win big money.
It's changed, didn't it?
Yeah,
What is it?
£5,000.
What, you can win £5,000
You win £5,000 aye.
tonight?
Tonight.
What? How do you win the £5,000?
You have to get involved free to play at home as well for a chance to win big money. What you just said 10 seconds ago, I've just read exactly what you said. It's a simple yes or no game, and a cash prize will be won in each round, as well as an overall leaderboard prize of £5,000.
All right,
Yeah, it did say 10, but we've changed. It's been changed just with the way the tournaments all went in it.
they're
Grosvenor
losing
went
money.
mad, didn't they?
everyone who gets
Plus we had
six of them,
to-
all right.
We had to give 5k for Kev's bike, didn't we, for him to get here every day. So
There's,
right.
spent some of the budget.
there's
Some
Gary.
fuel in that
First shift
bike.
of the day.
Bike.
Everyone who gets 6 or more right also gets a £10 free bet. Go to gsport.com/open-goal-to-play.
Well done, lads.
Should we agree that Sweden, Ukraine doesn't even
Oh, we've
deserve
not even
their-
spoke about that.
Does it even deserve their
How's
chat?
it got the 8 o'clock slot though? That's got to be like England, Germany, isn't it?
Does Sebastian Larsson still get a game for Sweden?
Aye.
Oh
No, I
my
don't think he
God.
does.
No, he does. He
No,
played,
he
he,
does.
played, he played the first couple, didn't he?
But there's another guy called Larsson. And
Henrik.
he's called Seb Larsson as well. I don't think it's him, but
Was it not?
Is Jordan Larsson there?
aye.
Is he? Has he done well?
He's
No.
played, has he? I don't know anything about Sweden.
No,
James.
never done.
ABBA.
They're brilliant, aren't they?
What? He's an ABBA song.
Waterloo.
Couldn't escape if I wanted to.
Flattered, innit?
Waterloo, darling, my baby will be.
Have you ever been to the?
Oh, wow,
Have you ever
wow,
been
wow.
to the toilets in an ABBA concert?
What's the
Waterloo.
joke? Oh.